Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to finish installing the fuel air gauge. We're going to put some Bondo in some of the parts of the car, and we're also going to get the car ready for paint. But for now, I got to get out of my work clothes and into my work on the car clothes. So let me get those on real quick. That's much better. Now we only have about 3.5 weeks until the Lemons race at Barber, so we don't have a whole lot of time. If you enjoy videos like this, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. That'll encourage us to make more videos if we know that people are liking it. Also, consider subscribing and turn on your post notifications. So let's get started right now. So what I'm going to do today is just fill in this area where the whole fender got bent out during the crash. I'm going to fill that in with Bondo. And the goal here is to make it look good at about 100 feet away, so that's the standard. And that's what we're shooting for. We got to get this thing done, and we got about 3.5 weeks to do it. I just hit it with an 80 grit just to feather it back a little bit, so hopefully the Bondo will not lift when we try to feather edge it. Did a little bending on the front here, try to get it lined up a little better. Looks pretty bad, but the standard is to look good at 100 feet away. So that's what we're going to do. Next thing I'm going to do is mix up some Bondo and start applying it. Let it cure up. In the next session we'll sand it down, get ready for primer, and then paint it. I just applied the first coat of Bondo. Wait for that to cure out a little bit before I hit it with a cheese grater. Scott is back here sanding the rear quarter panel, getting it ready for Bondo.
Oh, this is the only tool they let me have.
Alright, Scott, he's going to install the O2 sensor on our fuel air gauge. I think you're going to need a little light under there.
No,
but we welded in a bung. I don't know if you can see it. Let's try to zoom in a little here.
We put the bung in the hole.
You said bung. Before the Bondo sets up completely, it's always easier to profile it with a cheese grater. So I'm going to get to work on that right now. So let's get started. We just added some great stuff foam to keep the sheet metal from flopping around. We've got the fuel air gauge installed now, and it looks pretty good. So let me just take you inside and show you how it works. Okay, there's the fuel air gauge. It takes about a minute for it to warm up and start recording, but it looks pretty cool when it's done. There we go. That looks pretty cool. Whew, a little cool in here. Let's get some heat going. Alright everyone, it's the next session. We've only got 24 days until the race, so we're running out of time. We got a few things to knock out today. Today we want to finish up the Bondo, finish sanding it down, throw some primer down, and get it ready for paint. And then we're going to figure out how to put this bumper on the car, and we're going to put the strut brace back on it. And one more thing we want to do is to increase our downforce. We want to increase the angle of the wing just a little bit. So we're going to try to do that too, and possibly paint it red so it'll match the rest of the car. So let's get started. I'll show you. Okay, Scott is over here. He's going to rough up this area a little bit. Get it ready to take another layer of Bondo.
Hopefully it's a better layer of Bondo.
Scott applied some Bondo back here where it was really low. I'm going to get the cheese grater and try to knock down the high spots so it'll be easier to sand. I hit the Bondo earlier with a cheese grater. Now I'm going to come back in with this long sander and try to knock it down some more. Try to get a little leveler. Is that a word? Leveler? A little more level. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that right now. I'm going to mix up a small batch of Bondo to fill in these low spots, like right here. There's a little bit of a low spot there. And a little bit of a low spot there. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be better than it was. Hopefully this is the last application of Bondo. Actually, it is the last application of Bondo because this is going to be good enough. And that's the standard for our team. Kind of tweaking it in slowly here. Don't want to overcut it and then have a gap and try to get the best weld we can, so we want a good fit up. Safety first. Safety, what's that? Got the bumper cross brace support kind of just jammed in here, and got a tight fit up at the bottom, but the top's still got a little bit of a gap, so I might grind a little bit more off the bottom and you can tack it in position pretty soon here. Kurt has got the welder out. He's going to tack it into place with some small tack welds just to get that bumper support where it needs to be. My overhead welding abilities are not all that good, but I should be able to get on there well enough to... Yeah, we're just going to tack it in, and we'll get somebody who actually knows how to weld to finish it up. Kurt had a little bit of steel drip on him. Just one of the hazards of lemon racing. Kurt just finished tacking the bumper supports from the bottom. Now I'm going to take the bumper cover off the bumper rebar and then tack it from the top, and then we should be able to pull the whole thing out and do a good welding job on it. What I'm doing right now is I'm sanding this fender with some 180 grit so that the primer will stick to it. But one problem we have is our Fartari sticker. We don't want to sand and paint over that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it off with some masking tape and sand around it. Scott is going to take off the back wing here. We're going to go ahead and paint it Fartari red. And while we're at it, we're going to increase the angle a little bit more. Give us that extra needed downforce for those high speeds that we go at.
Or orange, as most people like to call it. Fartari red. Orange.
Orange?
Orange.
Kind of like a reddish orange, yeah. Reddish orange. Scott's going to make a cardboard template. None of us really like the peanut shape of our wing struts, would you call them? Wing tower? I don't know. Scott wants to modify it, maybe make it look straighter and more Fartari-ish. And we're going to make it out of plastic, and since this is Polyvance, we'll just weld it together with one of our plastic welders. Scott, what are you doing?
Well, I was thinking about trying to cut this on this, but it's apparently
too thick?
Too thick.
Alright, so Scott has sanded and shaped all 4 plastic pieces to make our plastic wing strut wrap. Now what are you going to do?
Now I'm going to unbolt the 4 pieces, separate them, put one on each side of here, and then weld the edges, and then rivet it to the surface so it doesn't come flying off.
Okay, so how are you going to weld that plastic?
I'm going to use a Polyvance nitrogen plastic welding system.
Good call. Well, we finally got the plastic put on the wing, and it's riveted on. The only thing we have left to do, and we'll do this after we get it on the car, is to weld that together so that it's all one piece. And we'll do that for both of them. We're also shimming up the back of our wing mounts to give it that extra downforce that we need. So it won't be much longer before this wing is done. That's enough content for this video. We'll continue working on the car and getting content for our next video. We didn't accomplish as much as we wanted to, but we did make a lot of progress. Be sure to watch our next work session by clicking that post notification bell. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button. We'll continue to make videos as long as we know that people like it. That's all for now. We'll see you in the next episode.